Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unpopular View.
Thank you all for clicking on our faces.
New flag with all that.
Okay, so I wrote down some notes.
Shots do that. I don't want to sit too hard.
That's twice. That'll probably go over about as well as Colonel Dippy.
Because there was no Jay White site.
Okay, just straight up gangbanging. This story has been finished. You gotta pay attention.
So Unpopular Review does not. What is she the CEO of, Chris? Jesus, golly.
Let's start.
And we are back. We are live. It is Wednesday. Welcome, everybody, to Unplot Reviews Entertainment. Challenging Times, the Challenge 40 Battle of the Eras post show. Just two of us here tonight. Catie is out with her family on vacation. We know that's what happens around us when we have a trio, not a destiny of trio, but a trio of people to tag in and out. You know, like the mega powers. Except for, I guess in this case, I'm Miss Elizabeth. I am your host, Mike Knoxxx, this evening. I'm joined by the lovely and beautiful Captain Shay Sawyer. How you doing?
I am doing great. Jay White is back. Like we're in full motion.
Welcome back, Jay White. Finn Balor overall. That's all I'm gonna say that off the rep. But today, what an episode! And can we just name this episode "The Death of Era 1"? Can we put a nail in the coffin here?
It was so sad, honestly.
Down already to just 4 players. Have a daily elimination that for the beginning of Darrell's duration, if I could say that in that manner, on the challenges have always been death-defyingly afraid of heights. 52 buildings, stories up in the air. And not only do you have to jump off the building, you're going to be dangling there until they pull you up. I'll say this much, Shay. I love the fact when he finally got put up Darrell, because he finally did it. They didn't show him crying, but you know he was crying because he saw him wipe his face like this. And what did you think about this challenge? It wasn't too hard other than the fear factor, right?
It kind of, I don't know. I got like, I don't know if you remember from Free Agents. I kind of got flashbacks to that season. Cause I feel like
that's funny. I was watching Free Agents this morning.
That's a good season.
And I went into Spies, Lies, and Allies.
Yeah.
When Esther
made me think of
Josh.
that.
Ugh,
and I think they also did like something similar to that, but not exactly like that, like with flags on Dirty 30 as well. So I was like, okay, this is bringing back memories, but I would never agree to do that. Everyone that did it, hats off.
You can't punk out. I mean, yeah. Technically, you can't punk out, right? We've seen them all do it plenty of times. So you're telling me you wouldn't have jumped off the 52-story building? You weigh what? I know I'm not supposed to ask him how much he weighs, but you definitely under $130. Okay, so it would not have been difficult to pull you back up as it was in the pull up Darrell's for heavy ass. Let's just say that.
I'm like definitely afraid. Like the way Nia was when she was saying how the fear of heights is right under death, like that's me. Like I am so afraid of heights, so I would have been freaking out. It would have been bad. Would you do it? You would do it?
I don't know if I would personally do it or not. I'm definitely terrified of heights. I think I would do the jump. It's the hanging part, right? Because, and of course, they edit stuff the way they edit things. So how long was they really dangling for, right? So that's the part that's scary for me. I wouldn't be wanting to sit there and hang down. But also, it's $1 million on the line. I have to trust the equipment. I'm just going to just close my eyes. You know what I mean? At that point, literally just take a nap. Just get me pulled over, close my eyes. It's like when I'm really, really, really cold, like I just go to sleep. Like I can't get no warmer. Just stay still, close my eyes, and drift off into eternity. So that's what I would do in this challenge, both in that. But shocking in this that Era 4 won this event. And, of course, the target thing. So now we're starting to see where the targets are going to have a issue later on in the show with the self-nominations, those who are self-nominated versus not self-nominating. But in this, we know that automatically Michelle was going in as she was a target, as well as Kylan was going in to this event if they had lost, and they did lose. So they came in last place, so they were going to go automatically in the arena. And this is where it gets dicey because now Devin, I don't see what he sees in Michelle. Am I wrong here? Is there something?
She's beautiful and she's intelligent. Yes, she gets a little bit spirally, and she was getting on my last nerves during the daily, like with standing on the sidelines saying, guys, I'm really stressed out. It's like, okay, you're not even doing the damn daily. Like, they're the ones actually doing all the weight.
She's
You're
like,
you're stressed out
on the line. Come on.
No, right. It was so annoying, but I think that she's, very beautiful, very intelligent. She has a lot of positives about her, and I loved her story about her brother. I thought that was really it was really beautiful. Like that she's trying to find some type of beauty in, the circumstances.
I don't know why. I just don't like Michelle. Maybe because she was so attached to Jay last season. I don't think I had a problem with her until then. I never had a problem with Jay. We talked about this before until last season, and now I just loathe him. Him and wherever his friend was with the long hair, the opposite of Fussel, Aju or whatever his name was.
Oh, Asaph. Yeah. He was.
Yeah. I just they all can go jump off that building and hang a little longer than what they hung today in this challenge.
Oh, they were really insufferable though, so I understand.
But it got emotional, right? Because you got people dating, you got friendships. You know what's always funny about this show? And today's the first time I saw where someone said, "Oh, I know I can count on this person. I'm not going in." What's going on? It actually works. You hear Nehemiah saying, "Well, I know she's not going to vote me in." Right. But at the same time, they go in, they had the deliberations, right? So we know who's going to go in there, Shay, and they pick Tina. And as they refer to her as a Tina bomb was about to hit. They're like, calm. I am calm. Like, don't cut. And I like Darrell's approach to this when they picked Darrell to go in. Put my sleep shades on, put my earbuds in to tune out, and go to sleep. There's nothing you can do about. I've never understood. How do you feel when people get so upset the way Tina did about going? Somebody has to go in. Your team is losing. You're the worst team. Why not wipe you off? Right? In some forms, it's like, come on, yo. Like, this is my problem with the game. What's your take on that between the friendships, the relationships, and then it's actually being the game? We've seen the best and worst of all this in this scenario.
So I get it. Like, there's going to be alliances. I feel like Era 4 and Era 3 have turned into the mega vacation alliance. And it's just like, and I honestly have to laugh at Corey because maybe if you made a different decision,
you just always want to make fun of Corey.
Episode, when someone wanted to be ride or die for you, and you said, "No, I'd rather be bottom of the totem pole for the Vacation Alliance," and look at how far that is getting you. I'm so happy for you, Corey. Seriously, but I don't know. I just don't get like the whole crying about going into elimination. I get like if you. Like for Tina, I get it. You were in, but it's like, it is what it is. Like, what can you really give to them? Like, what can you provide back? It's like literally 4 of you. It's barely anyone on this team. It's very unlikely you guys are going to win more challenges moving forward. They have to be smart about these things.
You can't even fight for an alliance. You can't even say, well, I owe you one at this point.
Right? Like, no, literally. So yeah, that's my stance on it.
I thought, because we had it last week when Banana tried to stir things up. We thought Banana kind of stole that episode a little bit last week. And you can see towards the end of this episode, not giving away nothing yet, that he actually speaks about, hey, just one little match is going to set this off. You just spoke about it with Corey, right? We see the previews, whatever. I just jumped. I said we'll talk about it later. I just jumped. But we see some explosions about to happen there in next week's episode. But we're still on here. We get there. They're going into the challenge. You got Darrell going in. You got Tina going in. Era 1 right now. This is why I didn't pick them, in all fairness. It wasn't the fact that I didn't think this team could get the job done. It's they've been out of the game for a long time. And it finally came to a point where these other members of these other eras start to identify, as they would say, fuck these old people. They got to go. You know what I mean? Like, and I go back to that. I was watching Spies last night's episode right before Fussell gets kicked out because he musts Josh. Oh, we're supposed to be best friends. That whole episode, right? It's what I was watching earlier today. And it made me think what he said, Fussell said, yo, They're not doing the things we are doing now. These challenges are we gotta understand this thing started off with obstacle courses on a beach. You know what I mean? Like they're not, thank God they've gotten in shape. Like even when it comes to like Ryan and Derek and those guys, right? Like shout out to them because at some point you gotta have more Derek than you gotta have Corey, meaning more heart over muscle.
Yeah.
Right. You look at Corey. He's in a hell of a shape. I wish I had the body that man has, but I know I have more, integrity, shall I say, than what Corey displays. What's your take on that whole thing? Because like they were fighting, they were arguing. Banana tells out there about people now not voting themselves to go in to be the target. Ryan has not done that yet. Also, do you think Ryan and them are wrong here? But I love what Derek said. He said, "Hey, I can't fight like you, but I can show and he with 6 girls who's not going to vote me in." And I thought that was honest. I thought that was a great way to say it. I wish they had told that to Banana instead of standing in a confessional. Your take on that?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not all about like you know me, I'm always saying how I'm all for the old school of the challenge and the core of what it started as is regular Joe Schmo people doing things that you would never think that they could do.
Right.
Like I was reading this article, I forgot who wrote it, but they were talking about the challenge and saying how it lost that thing of like, seeing someone like Leroy, who's a sanitation worker, get on here and now he's jumping from cars to car, doing all this crazy things. It's really cool to see. And then now it's like the show has become so much of like CrossFit and you got to work out all this stuff. And it's just like, and they keep calling themselves a fifth sport. Stop it. No, your reality show. Stop it. Enough. Seriously.
It has become a great mixture of the two, right? You look at Jenny on one hand, right? Talk about her last week, right? And she, even today, jumping forward again as she gets the target at the end of this episode, and she's like, it's unfair. This is my 3rd time. But the person who picks her says, listen, I got to go with relationships. Again, I'm with Jenny some way, opposite of you. I watch this because of the real world aspect of it. We watched it because we knew them. This was something extra during, spring break. They came a bit, so you kind of just fell in love with it. So that's the territory. It is the drama, is the majority of the show. But it has evolved past a fear factor kind of thing into death-defying feats. You know what I mean? Like you said, I'm not jumping off that building, right? I was surprised. What's her name? Is it Jaleesa? I always hear her name wrong. The black girl who did jump off.
Or Naya?
Naya jumping off. I never thought she would do it. I kind of had a feeling Darrell would, because every season he's kind of overstepping more and more of that height fear that he's beyond. But Naya, I have no trust in this girl. I just never have. I never will. I'm gonna take your word. She's completely politicking herself through. I was just saying, oh, he's back in my bed. Yeah, someone else for you to vote for, because to me, Naya's should be considered a Laurel in this game. You should see her stature. You should see her height, and think she's gonna kick some ass. Meanwhile, you hear in confession, she's afraid of Laurel. Like, you're the same size as this chick. Like, what part of New York are you from? Wimbledon, as they would say in one of my favorite movies, Social Network.
The scary thing about Laurel is she really does not train for this. She just pops up and is just a beast demon. Like, you
see how it started off with the birthday party, what she had on, right? Who wants Laurel besides Laurel and old girl? What's her name? the fireman.
Who?
The fireman. The girl she was dating.
Nicole. No, but yeah, it's just like
she's like a fireman, or she a cop?
Yeah, she's a fireman.
She's a fireman, right? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And they're in shape like shit too, right? But Laurel's not in shape. These girls, you said, they're not CrossFit. Half of them are. This why I didn't go again. Sorry, I know people love Anissa. Who the fuck is Anissa going to? Anissa or Jenny? Right? Killer Cam was like, I want to go home and feed my kids and pump. I'll take her over some of these girls, right? Because she had heart.
You remember how Jenny was like gassing out even during the elimination with Anissa? Anissa was like just kind of
again, heart sometimes will beat, it's got to be endurance. It got to be. I always tell people all the time, it's a little short story, but I'm a proud short story.
It's okay.
On a family cruise, and they have like ever been on a cruise, they do like competitions. They had a 3-point contest going on, or 3-on-3 basketball contest going on. And my wife would deny this to this day, but I never forget my cousin and my wife both fawning over this dude, right? Muscles, I mean, they were, oh, girl. I got that ball, put that boy in the post, and took that boy to school. Okay? And it's all flabby and sick like Larry Holmes over here, okay? Because I have more heart and skill than that big-ass muscle-bound mother sucker. So that's Corey. Corey got to step up, right? So we do get to the arena.
But I do, I have to say though, like a disclaimer, I do agree with Johnny when like Ryan is literally doing nothing. All he's doing is standing around and being a shadow to someone and trying to interject himself into other people's feuds. Nothing else. Even like someone pointed out,
Ain't that the game?
when no, you have to do something. Pull your damn weight. Even like during the daily, someone pointed out Derek did that puzzle completely by himself.
And limping. And limping.
Holding the wall.
First of all, how cold was it? I've never seen them inside somewhere where other people are outside on the air. Like, was it that windy on the roof? Like, they were inside, like they were at the Sears Tower or something in Chicago, just touching the wall on the outside. But I always thought that was part of the, again, I'm with you, but I've watched so much of this be friends. Josh, to me, doesn't get by because of his athletic ability. He gets by because he has friends.
No, yeah,
you know what I mean? Like girls fall. Like I don't like this whole thing with Devin and Michelle. It's weird. It's just weird.
They're cute. I think they're cute.
You know what? I like Devin enough as the new West. I call him. You know.
Don't disrespect. Oh my god.
The way you feel about Devin, I guess the way I feel about Michelle. I just don't trust her. That's all. My thing is that with Devin, I've seen him come up in this game. I've seen him be the people we talked about who was not in shape, who could not compete, who was just smoking a cigarette and drinking beer while everything was going on. Everybody else is working out. And I know he's not drinking, smoking cigarettes anymore. But while they're still in them things, he might be on the bike drinking a beer, because he knows his will get him over the rest. Yeah. Some of them other girls and guys that are in this, I'm just not sure if they're making. I tell you one thing, it's very intriguing what's going to happen here in these next few weeks. All right, with that. But as always, somebody loses, somebody wins, somebody got to go in, and the vote that Nia and Jordan picked was Tina Bomb and Darrell, and they have this claustrophobic-y math equational maze, if you will, so to speak, to go through to then solve. And can I just say how disappointed I am in Darrell?
Kylie
okay? Can
is
I say
like
that?
Number guy.
I mean, he went against the calculator, right?
Yeah, come on,
But
like
it's addition. It ain't like there was no multiplication in this shit. Okay, it was all addition. You don't have to be great with numbers to fucking add. We learn how to add from preschool. Well, if you had a good parent, before I even started preschool, I knew 2 + 2 was 4. So he even says 720 and 720. Damn, 760 and 760. What is that? 1520. What the fuck? Like, it was not difficult. I'm sitting there like, then he goes in the sand and he's just. Well, I guess he was doing some Karate Kid shit. He had to wax on, wax off, the sand to get the answer. Meanwhile, here come Callan all laid through with his fucking pretty ass smile, walking through the door. And I tell you something, I love Challenge Jesus Horatio. We've heard, he may not ever be coming back, right? But Colin was his guy, and I picked on him about what was the level of his autism a couple weeks ago because I have family members and my kids are dealing with autism. And I want to say apology for that because I don't know this man from high hell or what he had. But I did do some more research. And when he said his story tonight, he at one point was completely non-verbal, high-functioning autistic. Is there a cure for this shit? Did he get some kryptonite? Because I've never seen a non-functioning person of autism do what this kid's doing. Okay, so if he was really non-verbal, autistic, and is doing this, you know what I always say? I'm going to have to get the clip one day. Issa Rae, who you voting for the Oscars? Always been on black. I mean, Colin just be whooping Darrell's ass.
Every time. And I think that's why I love him being on this. I'm not gonna lie, it's not that I didn't like him on Big Brother. It's just I didn't know him too well yet. And now that I've gotten more time to see him on screen and get to know his character, I really would like to see him become like a mainstay on the challenge. Like, because I think the same way I felt when, you know, Jordan was on, I think it's really inspirational to people who, you know, might be dealing with, you know, certain things like that. And, you know, I think it's always great to see someone who's dealing with the same thing as you on TV, and it makes you feel like, you know, why do I think I can't do it? You know, so I think I really would like for him to stay. And that's the last compliment Jordan's getting from me for the rest of this.
when they called the dailies random and they called Jordan and they called Tori wasn't saying yes because she was working with Jordan. She was saying fuck because she had to work with Jordan. She thought. Did you peep that part when she said that? She wasn't happy she was picked because, you know, she didn't want to get picked up the building. She was like, I gotta work with him because Jordan will. I'm sorry. We go back with 2 seasons ago. He's with Anissa. He's like, who the fuck told you to go there with? You're like, oh Jordan's a winner, but he got to be so hard to work with.
He's a bad. No, I'm not saying. Okay, I wouldn't say he's a bad teammate, but he's like the worst teammate to have because when he sat down, because you just triggered something in my mind with the whole Anissa thing. When he sat down and he said something to her along the lines of 13 seasons, and you still can't get it. I was like, my God, please.
He meant that shit, yo. And you wonder why you don't win. This is why. It's your fault you made me go this way. Like, no, it wasn't if you just whipped my way in the first place. That's why listen, I love Jordan. I know you're not the biggest fan. I think maybe Kylan can become the new Jordan, being that one that could be that motivation. Again, I remember seeing Jordan like, I can't never get the image out of my head of him willing to hammer and things like that. You know what I mean? And just doing it so effortlessly. And you know what you know about him moving on. A race car driver? With 1.5 hands? Like, how is that possible? You know, and he's not driving NASCARs. You know what I mean? They go like 180. He's driving Formula One cars that go almost 300 miles an hour. It's impressive. But you have this final. Kylan knocks out Darrell. Then we get to the female version of Michelle, taking on Tina, who I've never been a fan of. By the way, I've never liked Tina. She was a mean girl. And you know that to be true. Her and Rachel and them were mean girls. Look at that.
Okay, yes, this is true. But I feel like the new Tina, since she's came back, has been what I feel like since Tina has came back, she has been a different person. She's been so sweet. Like, she kept all of her humor and charisma and, you know, kind of dropped the mean girl stuff. So she's been so likable, I feel like. Like, I haven't seen her
when you're a mother,
like since the All-Stars.
When you're a mother, you shouldn't be mean. Definitely not a mean girl. So, okay, we give her that. So she's forgiven for all her past transgressions.
Yes, yes, because you can't hold people to things forever. Like, you know, every day you're growing.
Damn it, why?
Tomorrow, I could learn some new information that could shift my brain a little bit and change me as a person, even a little bit. So you can't hold things against people forever.
So I can't always hate R. Kelly, Diddy, and Vince McMahon.
Well, that's different. See, those are hard. That's like hard nose. When it's like, oh, you were kind of a douchebag, like, you know, you said some mean things. Yeah. But when it's like that, that's like hard nose. Like, you know, you are dust forever. That like, but I feel like you were kind of like not the nicest, but now you've had some life changes and you're a different like person, and you didn't do anything like that, like murder or whatever those things. Yeah. I think you're allowed to be given a chance. Like, I think everyone should be allowed to grow as a person. I never want to keep people in a box.
You know why I like that take? Because I myself have needed second and third chances. You know what I mean? I'm a hard piece of coal, or as they say for your Shrek lovers out there, I'm an onion. So a whole bunch of layers would be to get to know me. It's to know me, but on the surface, I can be a mean SOB. You know what I mean? And that's just my out. You know, that's my what is. What's it dumb to say? I was mean to you before you were mean to me. I was rejecting you before you had a chance to reject me. That's why I was doing these things.
But that's the thing. Like, you got to get to the chewy center. Like, you know, when they say, like, what is it? How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop?
It takes 3 licks to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop. That's what the commercial told me. Not the world
No,
may
it
never know.
doesn't.
1, 2, 3. That's it. It takes
He
3.
said 3.
Not 3. But Michelle shocks the world, but does she really? It's Tina, right? I think.
But I feel like this is an equalizer elimination though, so that could really go any way. And if it was like physical or maybe stamina, then I would be like, yeah, okay, it's not really a shock. But for this, especially because of how well Tina did with the last elimination, I was like, I was hoping she would.
And what era did you pick again? Just remind me.
What?
What era did you pick to win this thing?
Era 2. I'm sticking with my boo to the end, no matter what.
Okay. I told you Jordan and them were going to win this thing, right?
Era
3 is going to win this thing.
You know what? If I was to compare him to a wrestler, I would say he's like the Seth Rollins of the challenge because he could just do everything.
Nice comparison.
Yeah, I really believe that.
If this was my studio, I'd have played the laugh track for that. I got that.
And Johnny's Triple H. I really feel that. I'm not changing my mind on that.
So Johnny's. Let me stop. Leave that alone. So we know who lost. We don't know where they threw their points at. Next week, it looks to get more volatile, right? To get a little bit more excitement here. So a lot of people got to go. TJ does that all TJ thing. We don't know if that's going to be next week or when it's coming, but winning matters. So I'm going to be going to start seeing some double eliminations. Okay? Because this was what, episode 7?
7. Yep.
7 already. So that's about 7 more to go. And at this rate, it's about 15 episodes to go. So I think they're going to start dropping people off relatively soon here, 2 at a time. And what they're going to do next week with Era 1 having just 2 left, automatically being targets is Derek and Rachel. That's crazy.
Derek is a target, and he's getting into arguments with a bum knee with Corey.
I don't like. I'm wondering how that happened. Like, you're not on teams. At least it don't appear to be. So why you fight Derek?
Because you do see the daily they're doing. Do you remember from Cutthroat? Remember they did that same thing with the what are those little shield things? The guard shield when they pushing. So I'm thinking maybe Derek or Corey kind of got in their bubble a little too much, and he kind of got annoyed with him hitting. And you know how sensitive and
it can get that way.
Corey can be. So
what was that one pole wrestle? Stop choking me. You know, be like, it's a pole wrestle, girl. I got no choice to do everything. I'm gonna kick, crawl, everything.
Right.
I can do what, TJ?
Everything.
Oh, I just can't bite her? Okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? So back in those days, all rules are out the window. So overall take to this episode though, I actually kind of liked it from a standpoint of seeing like Ryan and them seeing what's going to happen next. And then now starting to see the game is finally starting to be played because the targets. I like when they have to volunteer or I'm going to go in the arena. I like that part of the game. When people don't do that, and I'm a fan of Devin, and that was the rules and the agreement set upon. Now Devin reneges on that. I'm sorry, Devin. I did not like that move. However, it's $1 million on the line. Overall, your take.
Oh, that pissed me off. I really, really hated that Devin did that. Like, and the thing is, and I remember, I forgot what episode it was recently where he was like, oh, I don't play a shady game. I don't like this guy because he plays a shady game and I'm not shady and I'm straight up. Okay, what is this, Devin?
Was that like 2 episodes ago? He was talking about Nehemiah. Yeah.
I'm like, wow, okay, that turned very quickly, but I already knew that. I knew he was bull crap, and we've been watching him be shady for seasons after seasons. And so for him to say that was like very bold of you. Very bold of you.
So overall, there it is, guys. We thank you for coming back to join the Challenging Times, the review show. I'm Mike Knoxxx. That is Captain Shay Sawyer. Hey, Cap, and you do a lot of things here, and not just entertainment, but in wrestling world. Where can they find you on your social medias?
Yes, you can find me at Shay Sawyer was here on Instagram. You can also find me at Shay Sawyer _ on Twitter, where I'm talking about nothing that has to do with wrestling. Talking about Love Island, probably. And yes, I call it Twitter. I never call it X. It's Twitter. I'm calling it what his mama named it, Twitter. And you can also catch a new episode of the Big Pop Theory podcast. Just dropped this Monday. Also, we had a watch along for NXT yesterday coming to CW. So if you did not get to watch that, definitely go to Unpopular Review Wrestling and give it a look.
There it is. And as always, the thoughts and opinions of Mike Knoxxx belong solely to Mike Knoxxx and does not represent everybody on Unpopular Review. And I say that because I have gotten some great feedback and also some other opinions feedback of my take on the Mr. McMahon documentary. If you've not had a chance to see the documentary, please go. I'm gonna say it here again. I think, as I said, certain people, doesn't matter, because you gave us great music does not mean you're a great person, and because someone gives us great wrestling, that does not make up for being a class A monster. Okay. So I just want to make that be said. I'm not afraid to say it, but we're here talking about the challenge. We love it. That's why we're here. Thank all you guys for listening every week. And every week we have continued on this network to dominate, and I mean this, dominate the Twitter audience of this of the network. No other Twitter show on Twitter gets a better numbers than this. We want to make sure we get them better numbers on Twitter and on YouTube, guys. So please make sure you guys like, follow, subscribe. Follow the link right there on the Twitter. Come follow us, like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell notification when we go live. You know we are live. Again, I'm one of your hosts this evening. Cactus Catie is not here tonight. She'll be back next week, hopefully. That's Captain Shay. I'm Mike Knoxxx. We see y'all next week, y'all.